Hello student, today we are going to discuss about the RBC, that is red blood cell. Okay, so in this topic we will discuss about the normal value of red blood cell, shape of the red blood cell, size of the red blood cell, and metabolism of the red blood cell, function of the red blood cell. Okay, so red blood cell or RBC, that is known as erythrocyte, because they appear red in stain smear of peripheral blood. The word erythro means red. RBC are the major cellular elements of the blood and perform the main function of transport of the oxygen from the lungs to the tissue and carbon dioxide from the tissue to the lungs. In the stain smear, the central part of the RBC is pale, so it gives the appearance of the halo, and peripheral part is more red. So in this cell, the center is thin and periphery is thick. So this is the figure of the RBC. So you can see the biconcave shape of the RBC. The center is thin, that is 0.8 micron, and periphery is thick, 2 micron. So red cell structure. The shape is biconcave. Size of RBC is 7.2 micron. Here it is written 7.5, but 7.2 micron, or it is range between 7 to 8 micron in the diameter. Thickness is 2 micron at the periphery and 1 micron at the center. Surface area is 140 micrometer and volume is 87 micron cube. So the range is 78 to 94 cubic mm. Okay. So what is the advantage of the biconcavity of the RBC? So when exposed to the hypotonic environment, the RBC withstand the lysis to the greater degree, as they swell to the large extent to attain the spherical shape before the bursting. So they do not easily lyse when blood becomes hypotonic. It increases the surface area for the exchange of the gases. It helps in the easy folding of the RBC, and so that it facilitates the movement through the narrow lumen of the capillary. So these are all the advantage of the biconcavity of the RBC. Okay, because of the biconcave, the surface area is more for transport of the gases, and they withstand the greater degree of stress without lysis. Okay. Now we see about red cell composition. So RBC are composed of water 62.5%, hemoglobin is 35%, and other substances are 2.5% that constitute glucose, lipids, cephalin, cephalocholesterol and lecithin, proteins, glutathiones and albumin like soluble protein, and enzymes like glycolytic enzymes, carbonic anhydrase and catalase. RBC count in the adult male, if we see the 4.5 to 5.5 or 6 millions per cubic mm of blood, in female is 4 to 5.5 millions per cubic mm of blood. The average value is written in the bracket. In newborn, RBC count is more, it is 6 to 8 millions per cubic mm of blood. In children, it is 3 to 5 millions per cubic mm of blood. Lifespan of the RBC, So RBC, the lifespan is 120 days. After the 120 days, RBC are destroyed by reticuloendothelial system, bismuth tissue macrophage system. So lifespan of the RBC can be measured by injecting the RBC tag with the radioactive chromium. Tag red cell lose radioactivity as they are destroyed. Complete disappearance of the radioactivity gives the lifespan of the RBC. Now we see the abnormal shape of the RBC. So they are the normocyte, microcyte and macrocyte. So normocyte, that is normal RBC, that is normal red cell, that is normocyte, the volume of which is 78 to 94 cubic mm of blood. Microcyte, when the volume of the RBC is less than 80, it is microcyte, small size RBC. Microcytosis is seen in the condition like in which the less amount of hemoglobin due to less amount of iron deficiency anemia, microcytosis occur. Macrocytosis, when volume of the RBC is more, so RBC become big size, so that occur in the megaloblastic anemia. Okay, macrocytosis, increase RBC cell size. So in this slide figure is given. First is the microcytic hypochromic, then in this you can see the size of RBC is small as compared to normal. This is normocytic normochromic, means hemoglobin is also normal, size is also normal. Here macrocytic normochromic. Here hypochromic means first is the hypochromic is there is less amount of hemoglobin. Normochromic means hemoglobin is normal. Macrocytic normochromic, in that the size of RBC is more and hemoglobin is normal. Anisocyte, in which the RBC of different size. Anisocytosis is seen in the different types of anemia. Hypochromic cell, hypochromic red cells occur with the pale appearance, hypochronia. Hypochronia occurs either due to decreased hemoglobin concentration, that is seen in the iron deficiency anemia, or due to abnormal thinning of red cell, that is microcytic. Based on the shape, poikilocyte, this means the RBC of different shape. Poikilocyte is usually seen when there are older cell present in the circulation. So first is the spherocyte. When the RBC assume the spherical shape, that is spherocyte, that is this condition occur in the hereditary spherocytosis, that is one is congenital condition in which the RBC becomes spherocyte. Ellipsocyte, when the red cell assume the oval shape with the varying degree of elliptical apposition, it is known as ellipsocyte. Ellipsocytosis occur in the hereditary ellipsocytosis, thalassemia and also in the iron deficiency anemia. So in this slide you can see the different shape of the RBC. First is the anisocytes, then spherocyte, then ellipsocyte, acanthocyte, diprenocyte, echinocyte, dacrocyte, keratocyte, schistocyte, target cell, stomatocyte and basophilic stippling. So these are all abnormal shape of the RBC occurring different type of condition. Okay. Now acanthocyte. So when the RBC has irregular shape with the 2 to 10 hemispherically tipped spicules of varying length and diameter, it is known as acanthocyte. So acanthocytosis is seen in the alcoholic liver disease and malabsorptive state and A beta lipoproteinemia. Diprandocyte, that sickle cell RBC, that is occur in sickle cell anemia, that is sickle cell anemia, you have heard about that. In that in hemoglobin there is alpha and beta chain is there. In beta chain the 6th position there is a abnormal, means changing of amino acid, so there is a mutation occur and hemoglobin become sickle shape, RBC becomes sickle shape. So in sickle cell anemia this diprandocytosis occur. Echinocytes, Burr cell. Burr cell is a cremated RBC, that is echinocyte. It is seen in the uremia, in which condition the uric acid, this ammonia increase and liver disease. Dacryocyte, teardrop cell, that occur in the cancerous condition myeloid metaplasia, myelofibrosis, thalassemia and myelospectic anemia. So echinocytes and dacryocyte, Burr cell and teardrop cell. Keratocytes. Keratocytes are the RBC having the pair of spicule. Keratocytosis usually occur by mechanical damage or removal of the His body, by pitting action of the spleen, Hamlet cell or Bite cell, that are used to describe the keratocyte. Schistocytes are fragment of RBC. They are smaller than RBC and have spar pangules and spurs. Schistocytosis occur in the thalassemia, then microangiopathic hemolytic anemia, cardiac hemolytic anemia and severe burns. So here's keratocytes and schistocytes. Basophilic stippling. This means the presence of numerous basophilic granules in the RBC. So this condition is known as punctate basophilia. It is typically seen in the lead and other heavy metal poisoning. So it also occurs in the thalassemia, megaloblastic anemia, infection and liver disease. So sometime in the lead poisoning, Cabot's ring, we can see the periphery of RBC or Howell-Joel bodies, that is found in the erythrocytes. Nucleated RBC are seen in the severe hemolytic anemia. RBC membrane, it is made up of three structural elements, that is lipid bilayer, integral proteins and membrane skeletal. Lipid bilayer is primarily composed of the phospholipid and cholesterol. Lipid bilayer provides the impermeable membrane barrier between the cytoplasm and external environment. It also helps to maintain a slippery exterior so that the RBC do not stick to the vascular endothelium. Okay, so we talk about the lipid bilayer, then we talk about the integral proteins. Integral proteins, that is embedded this lipid bilayer. So which are the proteins that present in the membrane of the RBC? So that is band 3 proteins, anion exchange 1, glycophorins, RST proteins and various ion channels. So these proteins allow the RBC to participate in the wide range of function, include the antigenic determination and cellular metabolism. Band 3 is a major anionic exchanger that regulates the metabolic pathways by key enzymes like enzymes of glycolytic pathway that you learn in the biochemistry. Glycophorins constitute more than 60% of the negative surface of the RBC. They modulate interaction between the RBC and interaction of RBC to endothelium. There are 5 different types of glycophorins, that is A, B, C, D and E. And glycophorin C that provide the stability and shape of the RBC membrane, and deficiency of glycophorin C produce ellipsocytosis. In membrane skeleton is present on the internal side of the RBC membrane. In that, 2 important proteins are present, that is ankyrin and spectrin. Spectrin is the most important part of the skeletal protein and constitute about 75% of mass of membrane skeleton. Spectrin is composed of 2 subunits, alpha and beta. Alpha and beta align and intertwine with each other in antiparallel fashion to form the flexible rod-like structure. This dimer further self-associate to form the Tetramers, they are composed of these multiple repeats, and it provides a strong filament to the overlying cell membrane via formation of the lattice like meshwork to integral membrane proteins. The spectin molecules maintain the cellular shape, provide structural support to membrane lipid bilayer, and regulate the lateral mobility of integral membrane proteins. So, defect in the association of alpha beta heterodimers that result in the ellipsocytosis and poikilocytosis. Okay. So, this is applied aspect. So, presence of ankyrin spectin in membrane provides biconcave shape, deformity, membrane stability, and durability of RBC. So, if there is a deficiency of ankyrin spectin results, so it produces defect like spherocytosis, elliptocytosis, and poikilocytosis. And this defect also make the RBC more rigid, so they are destroyed prematurely. So hemolysis occur very easily. So if there is deficiency of ankyrin and spectin, spherocytosis, elliptocytosis, and poikilocytosis occur. Ankyrin is also a symmetric polar protein that provides primary linkage between the membrane skeletal and lipid bilayer. So disruption of this ankyrin that linkage decrease the membrane stability. So abnormalities of ankyrin are most common cause of this hereditary spherocytosis, that is congenital condition. Deformability of RBC. Important determinant of RBC survival is this deformability. Deformability is ascribed to intrinsic deformity of the RBC membrane. So when the RBC become rigid, the viscosity of the blood increase and cell are lyse while passing through the splenic pulp. The primary cause of the decreased deformability is due to spherocytosis of the cell rather than the stiffening of their membrane. Now metabolism of the red blood cell, RBC metabolism. So if we see in the structure of RBC, there is no nucleus, mitochondria, and ribosomes. So adequate synthesis of proteins and lipids does not occur in the RBC. So glucose is primary source for fuel for cells. Enzymes for glycolysis are present, but enzymes of TCA cycle are absent, that you learn in the biochemistry, glycolysis and TCA cycle. ATP is formed by embodiment Mayerhof pathway, EM pathway, that you learn in the biochemistry. The HMP shunt that provide the NADPH. Okay, these all the pathway you learn in the biochemistry. So glucose entry into RBC that mainly occur by the facilitated diffusion. This facilitated diffusion, it is type of passive transport that you learn in the general physiology, which is independent action of the insulin. Red cell depend mostly on the glucose metabolism for their energy supply. 90% of glucose is oxidized by embedment Mayer pathway and 10% by the HMP shunt. So in this way the RBC metabolism occur by embedment Mayerhof pathway and HMP shunt. Embedment Mayerhof pathway. RBC metabolizes glucose by anaerobic glycolysis using embedment Mayerhof pathway. Two ATP molecules are generated by glycolysis through embedment Mayerhof pathway. 2,3-DPG is produced in the RBC. 2,3-DPG influence the oxygen affinity of hemoglobin and it plays an important role in the RBC function. Hypoxia inhibits the Krebs cycle and therefore it stimulates the 2,3-DPG formation. Whereas the acidosis inhibits the glycolysis and it decreases the 2,3-DPG formation. Okay. Hypoxia means loss of oxygen inhibit the Krebs cycle, so it stimulates 2,3-DPG formation, and acidosis inhibit the glycolysis, and it decrease the 2,3-DG formation. HMP shunt, the enzyme of the RBC, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase, that is the main enzyme for the HMP shunt. The HMP shunt generates the NADPH, keeps the glutathione in reduced state, which is strong reducing agent, and prevents the damage to the RBC. Therefore, G6PD deficiency interfered with the red cell function. HMP shunt generate the NADPH, keeps the glutathione in reduced state, strong reducing agent, and prevents the damage to the RBC. So, if G6PD deficiency occur, that interfere with the red cell function. G6PD deficiency, glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. So, in the absence of G6PD, inborn error of metabolism occur. So, in that RBC are susceptible to the damage due to oxidation. Therefore, hemolytic anemia occur in the G6PD deficiency. Okay. So, hemolysis is facilitated in exposure to antimalarial drugs. To this individual are genetically malaria resistant. So, when you give anti-malarial drug to any patient, so you have to do first G6PD test. Okay. So, if G6PD is positive, deficiency positive, then you cannot give this anti-malarial drug because it produces the hemolysis. Function of the RBC. The most important function of RBC is to transport the oxygen from the lungs to the tissue. This is due to presence of hemoglobin in the RBC, which has a high affinity for the oxygen. Hemoglobin also participates in the carbon dioxide transport from the tissue to the lungs and maintaining the acid-base balance. RBC contribute the 50% of viscosity of the blood. Antigen on the RBC membrane help in the blood group classification, that is A blood group or B blood group, okay, or AB blood group, O blood. Applied aspect, red cell fragility. The tendency of the RBC to hemolyze is called fragility of RBC. There are two types of fragility, mechanical and osmotic fragility. Mechanical fragility, the lysis of RBC due to mechanical stress, and that is called mechanical fragility. Therefore, red cell pass through the capillaries and splenic pulp, their membrane undergoes mechanical stress. On average, the RBC passes about 3 lakh times through the capillaries during its lifespan, which makes cell more fragile. Also, when red cell become older, the membrane becomes rigid. So, increased membrane stiffness and mechanical stress that make cell vulnerable to rupture. So, red cell membrane defects increase the mechanical fragility. Osmotic fragility, lysis of the RBC on exposure to different osmotic solution, it is called osmotic fragility. So, it assesses the integrity of the RBC membrane. The osmotic fragility test that help in the diagnosis of the anemia in which the physical properties of the RBC is altered. This osmotic fragility test detects whether or not the RBC can easily hemolyze. The red cell membrane allows the water to pass through while restricting the solutes. This is called the osmosis. If we place the RBC in isosolic solution, that is equal to the equal concentration of solution of RBC cell content, the RBC remain intact. So, which are the isotonic solution? 0.9% sodium chloride, 5% glucose and 10% mannitol and 20% urea. So these all the solution have the same tonicity with that of the plasma. Okay, hypertonic solution means what? So the tonicity is more than 0.9%. So if we place the RBC in hypertonic solution, then what happened? Hypertonic solution, RBC shrink because there is loss of water from the RBC by osmosis. So if we place the RBC in hypertonic solution, RBC becomes shrink. Okay. Red cells absorb the water by endosmosis. So when we place the RBC in the hypotonic solution, so there is a water absorption occur inside of the RBC, so RBC becomes swell. So ultimately lysis of the RBC occur, rupture of the cell and swelling of the RBC. So when the rate of hemolysis, interpretation is that when rate of hemolysis of the RBC is increased, the osmotic fragility increase, and rate of hemolysis is decreased, then osmotic fragility is decrease. So when osmotic fragility of RBC increase, the rate of hemolysis of RBC increase. When the rate of hemolysis decrease, then osmotic fragility is decrease. So which are the conditions in which the osmotic fragility decrease or increase? So normally osmotic fragility begins at 0.45 to 0.50 and complete at 0.30 to 0.33. So in which condition the RBC osmotic fragility decrease? Iron deficiency, anemia, thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, obstructive jaundice and post splenectomy. So these are the conditions in which the osmotic fragility is decreased. Condition of increased fragility, hereditary spherocytosis, congenital hemolytic anemia and other condition in which spherocytes are found in the blood. Then what is PEG cell volume? Hematocrit. Hematocrit is the fractional volume of the blood that erythrocyte occupy. Hematocrit or PEG cell volume is the amount of packed red cell following centrifugation. When blood is centrifuged in the tube, the RBC are packed at the bottom of the tube by the centrifugal force because RBC are heavier than the plasma. Hematocrit is a macroscopic observation by which percentage volume of the packed red cell is measured. So hematocrit also is known as packed cell volume, that is known as PCV. Okay, so that is about packed cell volume. Packed cell volume is reliable index of the red cell population. It provides the useful information about the red cell mass, which is correlated with the RBC count and hemoglobin content. So what are the values of the PCV? So measurement of PCV, RBC count and hemoglobin essential for the determination of red cell indices. Okay, that will come later on. What is red cell indices? That is MCV, MCH, MCHC, that help in detecting and classifying the different types of anemia. Which are the normal values of PCV? So adult male is 45%, that is 40 to 50%, adult female is 42%, 37 to 47%. What is ESR? That is erythrocyte sedimentation rate. So in previous lecture, ESR terminology is there. What is ESR? That is erythrocyte sedimentation rate. Okay. Some student asking the question, what is ESR? What is Rayleigh formation? So that will be discussed in this topic. So red cell have the property of Rayleigh formation. What is Rayleigh formation? That is RBC peeling one on the another. Okay. So that is Rayleigh formation. So these piled red cells RBC are heavier than the individual RBC. Okay. So when RBC become piled, they are heavier than individual RBC. So when the whole blood is allowed to settle, then sedimentation of the erythrocyte occur due to presence of Rayleigh formation. So what is ESR? So the rate at which RBC sediment is known as erythrocyte sedimentation rate. So ESR is measured, okay, per unit time, means at the end of 1 hour this ESR is measured. Okay, so when we allow the blood to, when blood is okay, placed in the test tube containing this anticoagulant, so at the end of the 1 hour the, okay, the RBC settle down, okay, leaving uh, above the supernatural plasma. Okay, so the rate at which the RBC settle down or sediment, it is known as erythrocyte sedimentation rate. Which are the factors which affect the ESR? So ESR mainly depends on three major factors: shape and number of the RBC, size of Rolux formation, and plasma factors. So these are the factors which affect the ESR. So shape and number of RBC. The most important factor determining the ESR is shape of the RBC. So biconcave shape that favors the Rolux formation. So alteration of the shape of the RBC that decrease the Rolux formation. So therefore ESR is less in the hereditary spherocytosis and sickle cell anemia. Then RBC mass, red cell mass also contribute to blood viscosity. So when the blood viscosity increase, so that decrease the ESR. So polycythemia, that is condition in which the RBC count and hemoglobin content increase. So in that condition the blood viscosity also increase. So in this condition ESR is decreased. Okay, and in anemia blood viscosity is decreased because blood become very thin. Okay, so in that ESR is increased. In sickle cell anemia ESR increase, that is exception condition, because in all type of anemia ESR increase, but in the sickle cell anemia it does not increase. Size of Rolux formation. The ESR also depends on the mass of falling particles, the size of Rolux formation, the red cell aggregate. The larger is the size of the Rolux, the faster is the fall. Therefore the factors that increase the size of the Rolux formation that facilitate the ESR. So increase in the red cell size without change in the shape, that increase the size of Rolux formation. So where larger the size of Rolux, faster is the fall. So factor that increase the size of Rolux that facilitate the ESR. So increase the red cell size without changing the shape, increase the size of Rolux. Plasma factors, the size and number of the Rolux that mainly depends on the fibrinogen content also plasma. Globulin content of the plasma that contributes the ESR. Normal blood, the red cell remains separate as they have negatively charged surface that to repel another. When fibrinogen concentration increase in the plasma, fibrinogen neutralize the charge on the RBC and removing the repelling force. So that this facilitates this Rolux formation. Rolux formation, red cell align in the aggregates. So that is one stack of coins. Appearance is like this: Rolux formation, red cell pile one over another. So its condition is seen when the gamma globulin is increased and ESR is high. Multiple myeloma, Kala Azar, and chronic inflammatory disease. And some pathological condition in addition to fibrinogen, few other plasma factors like acute phase reactions also increase in the blood. These acute phase reactions neutralize the charge on the RBC and facilitate the Rolux formation. So these are increase in the acute infections and non-infectious inflammation. Rise in C-reactive protein in plasma and acute rheumatic fever is also example of such acute phase reactions. In malignancies and collagen disease, ESR increased due to rise in the plasma level of the globulin, because this acute phase reaction that neutralize the charge on the red cell surface and increase the facilitate the Rolex formation. Which are the normal values and variation? So erythrocyte sedimentation rate that usually measured by Winthrop and Westergen's methods. Okay, ESR is different in the males and female by Winthrop method and Westergen's method. So Westergen's pipette is there and Winthrop's tube is there. So when we measure ESR by Winthrop method, in male is 0 to 9 mm per hour, in female is 0 to 20 mm per hour. So it is usually measured at the end of 1 hour. In Westergen's method, in male is 3 to 5 mm per hour and in female is 5 to 12 mm per hour. So ESR having the prognostic value in any disease. Okay, it does not give the diagnostic value. Okay, so when any disease is improving or when a disease is increases, then ESR increases. So ESR will give the value, ESR give only prognostic value, not the diagnostic value. Physiological variation in the ESR. So in pregnancy, ESR increase because the plasma fibrinogen content is increased. Okay. During menstrual bleeding, ESR also increase. ESR is more in the parturition. ESR is more in the female. ESR also high in the newborn and infant than adult. So these are the all physiological variation of the ESR. Pathological variation of the ESR. So increase in the ESR occur in the tuberculosis, TB, acute inflammation like cellulitis, chronic inflammation like arthritis, malignancy, all type of anemias except membrane abnormalities like Iritis spherocytosis and sickle cell disease, collagen disease like systemic lupus erythematosus, chronic infection like chronic tonsillitis. So these are the all conditions in which the ESR is increased. Condition in which the ESR decrease: polycythemia, sickle cell anemia, hypopripidemia, Iritis spherocytosis and hyperviscosity syndrome. These are the conditions in which the viscosity increase, so ESR is decrease. Okay, so this will all about the RBC. Okay, so thank you.